Welcome to 101 Awakening. This is the birth certificate rights. I'm now continuing the discussion on chemicals and byproducts. In order for this post to make sense to you, please watch part 1, 2, and 3. Part 1 is the glass of house. Part 2, how to define the service industry that you're dealing with. Part 3 is how the chemical and byproducts interact inside and outside of your body. Now let's further discuss the chemical and byproducts of your soul. Like I mentioned in my previous post, every industry concocted some kind of a product with all these chemicals in it. And every one of those products that have chemicals in it, they call it a formula of ingredients. Nobody really knows what the formula is. All they know is that if they mix different formulas from different industries, eventually it will kill you inside and out. Remember, the goal of these industries is to get the trust fund on your head. So what are the chemicals and byproducts? Well, let's just go into a grocery store, shall we? Every aisle that you go into are all full of chemicals and byproducts. You have to make the right decision for yourself. It's up to you how you want to feed your body. But the best food to eat is anything that is grown on the land and harvested from the land. Mother Nature foods. Although it might have some chemicals because our air and water are all polluted, at least when you read the ingredients, when you buy those produce, you see it for what it is. If you see a broccoli, it just says broccoli. So if I buy a bag of orange, I know I'm taking home a bag of oranges. Unlike this ramen noodle, I counted the ingredients. There's over 30 ingredients for a noodle. Ingredients that I can't even pronounce or spell. So that's my number rule of thumb. If I can read the ingredients, I do not buy it. So what's the role of us, the adults, over the children? As adults, we need to make sure that our children are eating properly. Proper foods with high energy in them. They shouldn't get vaccinated or any kind of medical means of medications. If you were pure during your pregnancy of not having any chemicals and byproducts, you will born an awakened child. It is us adults who administers the food to the children. The children just don't feed themselves. We force feed them. When a child tells you, no, I don't want that food, that's because the child is awake and they know what's right for their body. When you inject a child with a vaccination, it's not because he's crying because of pain. It's crying because it knows it's a chemical base. It doesn't belong in its body. Remember, all these industries are trying to administer you their products. You have a choice to take that administration or not. After all, they're just administrators, just like we are administrators to our children. So you see how this evolved? Everything just goes in circle. We're the realtors and administrators of our own selves. So if you're administering something good to you, then it must be good for somebody else. If you're administering something bad to you, bad foods, bad chemicals and byproducts, then it's also bad for somebody else. You can go around in the supermarket and look at everybody's cart, and you can pretty much tell which one is a sleeping soul, a semi-awake soul, and a fully awakened soul, just by looking at their grocery habits. If you can't see any kind of vegetable in that cart, you know that person is fully asleep because all they have is byproducts in that cart. If you see a cart full of byproducts and vegetables, then you know that person is semi-awake. And then you see a cart full of products of goodness only, Mother Nature food mostly, then you know that person is awake. You can also tell by asking a person of their food habits or their daily habits. You can tell if they are awake, semi-asleep, or fully asleep. And you can also tell how a person lives, of whether they are asleep, semi-awake, or fully asleep based on their living habits. And this is how your corporation, the government, is keeping track of you. because all the different industries, remember, they're all in it together. They're all conspirator of your murder, so they all want to keep track of you and all your purchasing habits. Not only do they know your purchasing habits, but they know what's inside your house based on the purchases on those items as well and when you purchase them. Not only that, they also know your communication habits based on your logging and communication text messages with other people and the listening device that they put on you to listen on your soul. You basically cannot move inside your house without being watched. Remember what I said on my other post. Even in my bathroom when I'm sitting on the toilet, they know when to flash it, even though I didn't touch it. They know who you're going to see, who you're going to be interacting with. They know everything about you. They all keep track of the people on earth, 8.2 billion of you. Your own corporation and the different industries, the different service industries, are always coming up ways on how to implement new businesses in order to corrupt your mind and to put fear on your soul. So from 0 to 12 years old, they will try very hard to indoctrinate the children because the children are the hardest to conform. That's why they always say, when you turn 13, you can decide whatever you want to do with your life. Because the service industry know by 0 to 12, you're going to be indoctrinating that child to only consume byproducts and chemicals inside and outside their body. They'll be so used to it that they want more by the time they turn age 13 to 19. They'll be partying, they'll be trying many different things because you gave them the freedom from 0 to 12 to do whatever they want already because they've been indoctrinated to want the things that they don't really need inside and outside their body. So you see, the more we indoctrinate the children, as adults, we have to be wary of what we are doing to them because the children is our future generation. Remember, the cycle just goes around and around. So if you do not educate the children properly, when they have their own children, they will do the same thing like you did to them. So remember what I said about your corporation is your realtor. So as a real estate agent of yourself or anyone outside of you, they will always prospect for the property, look for it. You survey the location for the growth potential of your investment. You make an offer, then you negotiate, right? And then you purchase. And based on that, you either demolish or build. And then you erect the foundation and build it to your liking, and then you celebrate. Well, this is how your corporation is managing your land right now. Whenever they set a fire to it or flood it, because they want to demolish and rebuild again. That's how they fund wars, because they want to have part of that investment in a different country, a different resources of lands. This is how your funds are being embezzled from you, from your corporation funds. There was never calamities where you live. It's all man-made by your corporation to distract your land, take over it, because they're trying to take as many funds away from you. The more they take, the more poor or sick you are. The easier to take away everything from you. Next, I'm going to be discussing part 5, the indoctrination of children of this world. How they can indoctrinate the children within the society and away from the beliefs of your home, your own kingdom as the parent of the child. How they've taken away your rights and your belief systems, and how you can take it back. See you on part 5.